name is Max James, and as always, I am one half of the Two-Ton Nerds, and tonight is night 17 of the 31 Days of Fright horror movie project presented by the Two-Ton Nerds, and it's also the final night for the theme Creature Features, so I'll be watching the black and white version of Stephen King's The Mist, directed by Frank Darabont. You might recognize his other work with other Stephen King movies, with Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile. The reason why I chose the black and white version is because it has the special effects of a big blockbuster, but also has the look and feel of an older horror movie, which I do like because with the removal of all the color, you have to focus on the actors and their facial expressions, and just kind of it's not bogged down by you watching the vibrant colors of the movie. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that some movies work better in black and white, and this movie works better in black and white. So I'm going to get right into watching my movie, and as always, I have my bottle of water, and I'll be right back in a few seconds to tell you what you need to know about this movie. I have a little disclaimer, is that everything I'm about to say only pertains to the black and white version of this movie. So, I just got done watching The Mist, and I'm going to tell you what you need to know about this movie. And I got 6 categories to get through. And first up is the plot. The plot of the movie essentially is a storm comes rolling through, and it forces everybody in town to go to the local supermarket. And they end up getting trapped within the supermarket because of a mist that kind of overthrows the entire town. And there's actually more than just mist. There's actually something within the mist, because this guy kind of comes running into the supermarket all bloody, and it's like, oh, there's something in the mist, and kind of like, okay, that's essentially what the plot is. So 2 is the characters. The characters of the movie are really great. You got David Drayton, played by Thomas Jane. He's the lead hero of the movie. You got Toby Jones. He plays Ollie Winks. He's the right-hand man of the movie, and he's also very good with a firearm. You got Andrea Rauer. You might recognize her as from The Walking Dead. She plays the lead woman of the movie. Then you got like the main the lead villain of the human side is Marcia Gay Harden. She plays the God-fearing preacher woman of the movie. She's really, really great in this movie, especially because she's trying not to overact, but her overacting is actually what makes her part really great. 3 is my 3-act breakdown. Essentially, Act 1 breaks down as this: a storm comes rolling through, forcing everybody into the supermarket, and they end up getting trapped because of the mist and the creatures. And they're kind of their first encounters with the creatures in the mist, and kind of leads to the first death of the movie. Norm, the bag boy, his death is actually really great because it kind of comes out of the blue. Then you got then it kind of leads into also them trying to convince the entire store that there's actually something within the mist, even though there's like, hey, we got evidence to show you that there's something in there. Like, no, we don't believe you at this time. And then which kind of leads into people kind of going out and getting killed, and which kind of leads into the Act 2. Act 2 essentially takes place at night and the following day. At the night, it's essentially the first creature attack with the flying creatures, and it's just complete chaos in that night because people are getting killed or getting burnt. It's just kind of like, oh my god, there's so much going on, and it's really great. Then the following day, they realize that they need to get some medicine for the person who was burnt. So they make a run to the pharmacy, which the door's left open, and they end up meeting a new creature they haven't seen before, like the spider creatures. They have acidic webbing, and some of the deaths in that movie some of the deaths in that sequence is really great as well. And when they get back from the pharmacy, it kind of breaks into the 3rd act. Throughout the movie, the God-fearing woman, she kind of been like saying, hey, this is the word of God, and what's been happening is because of God is kind of like bringing his wrath upon us, and some of the events have kind of coincided with what she's saying, but really when it kind of boils down to in Act 3 is that all the events of the movie have kind of really coincided with what she's saying, and she's actually kind of conjured up most of the people in the supermarket into believing that what's happening outside is because of the wrath of God, and they end up sacrificing somebody in the group within the supermarket. That sequence is really great and terrifying at the same point. At the same time, it's like, oh dear God, that could happen to me, because you could be just like some guy in the, like, oh, we got to sacrifice somebody. So then, because the reason why they sacrifice him is because he knows a little bit why the mist is has come upon the supermarket. Then kind of leads me into number 5, the deaths. The deaths of the movie are really great because they're really scattered out the whole movie, but they are very important. You got the first initial death with Norm in the loading dock. That is a great sequence. I really do recommend watching that just for that. If you don't like the movie, that's a good scene. I do like that scene. You got all the deaths in the pharmacy, and then you got all the deaths in the night sequence. You got people getting their neck torn out. You got people getting stung and just kind of dying from the infection, from being stung, and it's just kind of like, oh dear God, there is a lot of, and the kind of the makeup for that effect when she gets stung is really great as well. So just the deaths in this movie are very, very, very well done. They're really pertains to the movie. I know I say that a lot, but some movies, the deaths just don't fit the movie, and these actually fit the movie very, very well. Then you got number 6 is the ending. The ending of the movie is a nice ending. I can't tell you the ending at all, but it's they realize in Act 3 that we need to get out of here. So when they're like, I'd rather die out there than trying to survive in here. So that's kind of like they venture out. That's all I'm going to say. And so it kind of leads into my rating. I got a 5 rating scale. It is a rating scale, but I'm calling it a classification scale because there's a little add points, little PS's to the numbers. 1 being the best, 1 being the worst, and 5 being the best. 1 is the run-of-the-mill horror movie. 2 is it's like a good horror movie, but it's best watched with a group. 3 is a really good horror movie, but it doesn't help move the genre forward and just doesn't offer anything new. 4 helps move the genre forward, and number 5 is just being a horror classic. And The Mist, the black and white version of The Mist, actually follows in number 4. It helps move the genre forward. I do believe, because I think more horror movies need to be released in black and white, because it really does enhance the scare factor of the movie, because you're not too bogged down with all the colors and stuff, and you actually have to focus on the actors' expressions and the way they talk and the way they move, and it's just kind of like, and some of the special effects actually are enhanced as well because of the black and white. And especially there's a scene with one of the flying monsters, even though it looks extremely, extremely fake in black and white, but it looks extremely awesome in black and white as well, because it fits the movie, because it's in black and white, but it also fits the black and white tone of the movie. So that's really all I gotta say, is that I do prefer the black and white version over The Mist, and that's all I'm gonna say, is that I am Max James, and I'm one half of the 2 Ton Nerds, and I'm gonna go geek out.